Just a few years back, I had $147 in my bank account. I was a college dropout and I was working the job for $10 an hour. Fast forward to today and I've made more than $1.5 million writing online. And last month, I made more than what I used to make in a year times 2. I'm not saying this to brag, I'm saying this to show you it's possible, and I'm gonna walk you step through step everything I did to get to the point where I've been making more than 7 figures online. I do have a warning. If you follow through with everything that I say in this video, you will make $10, $20, $30,000 a month. This is the value of what I have here, but if you're not the type of person who can make it to the end of a video like this, then it probably wasn't a good fit and it's probably not gonna work out for you anyways. So let's start with how I first got into writing in the first place. So at the time when I was working a dead-end job, I wasn't liking the position where I was at in my life. I started studying self-improvement. So I was reading different books, watching YouTube videos, taking courses, and I used self-help to make my life better. Right? I got in really good shape, I got a better job, and I was doing really well in my life, and I was just starting to share these little tidbits of what I was learning online. And looking back, I could tell that I was always someone who liked posting. So even back in the day, I was posting content before I even knew what posting content was. So I was just posting these little things, book reviews, little nuggets here and there, little motivational sayings on the timeline. And a buddy of mine reached out to me. So my friend, he had a blog at the time and he was looking for people to write for the blog. And I think he could tell that I liked writing, that I had a penchant for doing it, right? So he said, hey, do you want to write articles for my website? And I was like, yeah, 100%. What can I write about? And he said, you can write about whatever you want. And I was like, cool. So I wrote a personal development article. It got published to the blog. He posted it on the Facebook page for the blog. And I think it got a few dozen likes. And this got me really excited. So I'm not gonna lie, I pretty much fell in love with writing almost instantly. And it did become a daily habit after that. So in the beginning, I was writing articles for his blog. And then along the way, I noticed there were just different opportunities to write. So another kind of chance circumstance, I was on Facebook one day, I saw this girl, she said she got her article published in this place called Thought Catalog, that was going viral, getting all these views. And in my case, I was like, okay, if she can do it, so can I. So I published an article on Thought Catalog, it did pretty well. I actually got one of the editors, he kind of took a liking to me and he basically took me under his wing for about a year and he worked with me on all my articles, which is amazing. So that's a good key for you. Having a mentor, someone to guide you and help you learn the ropes and speed up the process is super valuable. So I was writing articles mostly on Thought Catalog, doing really well. And he reached out to me and said that he was gonna open up a freelance budget, that the company said that they were gonna start paying the writers. And I got super excited about it. But right before it actually kicked in, he ended up moving to a different job. I got assigned a new editor. She didn't necessarily love me as much as he did, and things kind of petered out. But at that point, I was writing a lot, and I knew that this was something I wanted to keep doing. So I just started looking for other opportunities, right? So I wrote on websites like the Huffington Post. I started doing guest blogs. So I was doing these other different strategies and writing on different sites to make money. One day, and this is the day that changed my life forever, there was this woman named Jamie Varon, who was also a popular writer on Thought Catalog. And she was posting about this website called Medium and how she wrote this article over there and how it went super viral and how she was crushing it. So at that point, I had got accustomed to finding new places to write. So I was like, okay, let me give Medium a shot. I wrote an article on Medium, nobody read it. I figured that you had to put your articles in publications to get some views because I saw other writers were doing it. So I submitted an article to a publication and it got rejected. But then pretty much shortly after that, I just submitted him another article and said, hey, maybe he'll like this one. He did. I ended up building a relationship with the editor of the publication called Life Tips, which was one of the biggest publications on Medium at the time. And I just started getting tons of views on Medium, right? So I was writing on Medium, I was building up an email list, I was coming up with, potential things to sell them. I didn't really have anything going yet. And it was this one pivotal moment that changed everything for me. So the pivotal moment that changed everything for me was that Medium was coming out with this program that was gonna pay their writers. So in short, the more views you got, the more money you made. So at this point, I already had some followers on Medium, I just wasn't getting paid yet. So I had like perfect momentum going into the program. So I think I had like 10,000 followers by the time they started paying writers. So I was already getting good traffic. So I applied for the program, got in. First month I made like $200, which is great. Then I made like 500, then I made 600, then I made 1,000. Then numbers just kept jumping, like really, they kept kind of compounding, almost like doubling every month. I got to the point where I was making 10 grand a month on Medium. So my very first dollar came from writing on Medium, but it snowballed pretty quickly. And I was writing and getting $10,000 to $20,000 a month. I think I did that for like basically like 2 years straight. I was doing that. So the first area where I started to make money was Medium. Second, this is the next monetization path that I went through that helped scale my income. I expanded my income by creating products. I have written 3 books, and those books combined have done $100,000 in sales. As I was writing on Medium, I was building an email list, collecting subscribers, which is what you should do. And then I was releasing these books as products. So those are the main products that I sold in the beginning. My third book, I turned it into a course. Right, so I wrote a book called Real Help, and I took the lessons from that and turned it into an online course people could buy. I launched that program. I think I did like 30 grand in sales with that. So not only was I getting the Medium money, but I was getting money from the books. And then I created that course based off of my book. And then I also created a 90-day mentoring program where I was teaching people self-improvement principles so they could be more productive, to grow their business or get in shape, whatever their goal was. I was basically mentoring those people. In the beginning, I was mostly focused on creating that self-improvement content, and I monetized primarily through books, courses. I also landed a fair number of freelance gigs, right? So I landed one client who has paid me more than $50,000 to date. They found me through Medium. So Medium's a great place to get freelance gigs inbound as well. So that's kind of the middle arc of my career. So the beginning arc was writing just to write, more writing on Thought Catalog. The middle of the arc was writing on Medium and starting to build these products, the books and the courses. And then the third arc was where I kind of elevated more into, sort of the writing business guru sort of thing where I'm at now. So after I had already been successful as a writer myself, I had a lot of credibility and a lot of people knew me from Medium. So the very first product I released for other writers was a course on how to make money writing on Medium. So at that point, I'd already made like multiple 6 figures writing on Medium, and people trusted me to give them advice because I had proven it for myself. So I did that course, launched that one. That one has done probably $250,000 in sales, around 250K. So that was my first initial flagship product for writers. Right? So then as I began solving other problems in my business, I would teach the people who were behind me. So after I learned to write on Medium, I started talking about the other things I was doing to build my business, and I was helping writers with that also. So I launched a community a year ago called the Writers League. And in the Writers League, we focus on audience building on multiple platforms, writing tips, email marketing, which is huge, and showing them how to monetize their writing in different ways, whether that's freelancing or creating your own offer, doing courses, consulting, and things like that. So that did really well. That community is thriving. And then after that, again, this kind of leveling up ascension model, I noticed some of my students wanted to work with me more closely. And these are students who are already doing well, but they wanted to start making serious money. So I created Words to Dollars, which is kind of a mastermind program where the main thing I show people there is how to create a high ticket offer. So this is something that you can sell for multiple thousands of dollars so that you can make a big income without having lots of customers. So this is the arc where I'm at now. And like, if I could go back in time and change one thing, I would start with a high ticket model earlier on so that I could collect cash faster, quit my job, and then scale down to a more productized service. So that's what I'm helping people with right now. And the key benefit of being able to use that model is that you don't need a huge audience to make money, right? So let's say you wanna, do a writing offer. You could do educational email courses, you could do copywriting, email copywriting, content writing, ghostwriting, writing stuff on social media. You can go to other businesses and it's no problem for them to charge you $2,000 a month or for you to charge them $2,000 a month because they have a huge marketing budget, right? So if you got some writing skills, you could go straight to B2B you can get to 10K with just 5 clients, paying you a couple grand a month. It's very doable if you find businesses who actually have money. So I would have started there first, quit my job, and then wrote about whatever I wanted to write about, and then created a deeper product line after that. So from start to finish, it was me writing mostly for fun. Then I stumbled on Medium, which became the bulk of my income. Then I created products based on self-improvement that I was writing about. And then after that, I started giving other people writing advice. And now I'm moving more into consulting people overall, like start to finish, how to run their businesses. So that entire trajectory explains how I got from $147 in my bank account, being a college dropout, working a $10 an hour job, to now making more than $1 million, more than $1.5 million at this point. And we're on track to do probably $500,000 this year. And I would be surprised if I didn't do $1 million in revenue next year. So I think the biggest lesson that I learned along the way and that I would pass on to you is that speed of execution matters. So knowing what I know now, I could have quit my job in 12 to 24 months. It originally took me about 4 years to do it, but had I known these things about crafting a high ticket offer and implementing it as soon as I could, landing clients so I could quit my job, then building up the offers in reverse, where you start with something more expensive, but then as your audience gets bigger, you can introduce smaller priced products with less access to you and scale your income. So that's the model I'm teaching. Start high and then go low. Monetize as quickly as possible. And I also don't rely on income from Medium alone. Don't rely on YouTube revenue, ad revenue. Like focus on something you can sell. So like a B2B writing service offer is the easiest one to start. But then a high ticket coaching or consulting offer, either in the areas of health, wealth, or relationships, is your best bet. So like those are basically the main models that you can use to monetize. Pick one of those, find an audience that can pay you a lot of money, and then deliver that product, or use your writing to get people funneled in to buy it, and then scale out your offering. So that would be my big lesson. Build your offer system that way, and then implement things you learn fast. What I shared with you in this video is just a small piece of the puzzle, right? So I go into a lot more depth of how to build a 6-figure business with your writing inside of my newsletter. So if you look in the description below, you're gonna see a link to join my newsletter, and you join that and I share insights with you on a regular basis that are gonna help you build a writing business. And I have tips in there that can genuinely help you quit your job in 12 to 24 months if you implement them and do the work. So go to the description below, join the newsletter, and we'll continue giving you those insights that'll help you build your business. And I will see you on the next video.